We tend to think of vaccines as a really simple deal. You get a flu shot, you don't get the flu, a shingles shot, you avoid that awful rash.
Right, a one-to-one transaction.
Exactly. But what if there's a kind of hidden bonus feature in that transaction? We're looking at a huge amount of research today, including one systematic review of over 104 million people that suggests some routine vaccines are doing, well, something profound for your brain and your heart.
It's this idea of off-target benefits. And honestly, the data is forcing a major rethink of how the immune system even works. We used to see it as, very specific, a lock and a key.
But this is something else.
It is. These huge population studies are suggesting that when you get that shot, you're not just stopping a bug. You might be seriously lowering your long-term risk of dementia, Alzheimer's, even heart disease.
Okay, 104 million people.
Yeah.
That's a data set you just can't ignore. So let's start with the brain, because those numbers, they've really jumped out at me.
Yeah, the signal for dementia is incredibly strong. When researchers looked at the shingles vaccine, herpes zoster, they found a 24 to 25% reduction in the risk of someone developing dementia.
25%. And does it matter which version of the vaccine we're talking about? There's the older one and the newer one, right?
That's a great question. It holds up for both, actually. But it's really interesting with the newer recombinant vaccine, the one called Shingrix. One study showed that patients who got that one lived, on average, 164 additional diagnosis-free days. That's nearly half a year of healthy cognitive function.
Just from a standard immunization.
Wow.
And I saw in the notes this effect was stronger in women.
Significantly more pronounced, yeah. We're still working on the why for that gender gap, but the correlation is definitely there in the data.
It just gets stranger, though. Because then you look at something like the Tdap vaccine, tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis.
The whooping cough shot.
Right. How on earth does a tetanus shot connect to a 33% decline in dementia risk?
That is the multi-million-dollar question. And it's not just Tdap. The pneumonia vaccine showed up to a 40% reduction in Alzheimer's risk for people vaccinated between 65 and 75.
30%.
Now, to be fair, that was in people who didn't carry certain genetic risk factors. But even the simple annual flu shot was linked to a 13 to 17% drop in Alzheimer's incidence.
So it's a clear pattern, multiple different shots, all pointing toward better brain health. But you said this goes below the neck, too, to the heart.
Oh, absolutely. And that evidence is even older. We've had solid data on the flu shot for about 25 years. It consistently shows people who get their annual jab have substantially lower risks of hospitalization for heart failure, stroke, and heart attack.
Okay, I can almost get the logic there. The flu puts stress on your whole body, which is bad for the heart. But what about that Danish study on the RSV vaccine? A 10% drop in cardiorespiratory hospitalizations. Is that just about keeping your lungs clear?
That's part of it, for sure. But the main theory goes deeper. It's about inflammation. As we get older, our bodies are dealing with this thing called inflammaging.
Inflammaging. Okay, you have to break that down. It sounds like a marketing term.
It does, but it's real. It's this chronic, low-grade inflammation that's always on in the background. Think of it like a constant low hum of immune activity that just slowly damages cells over decades.
And vaccines help with that.
The theory is called trained immunity. Essentially, vaccines give your innate immune system, your body's first responders, a good workout. By doing that, you help tone down that systemic inflammation.
So instead of the immune system totally freaking out and causing collateral damage when it sees something like, say, the amyloid plaques in the brain associated with Alzheimer's, it has a calmer, more efficient reaction.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's collateral damage control. Yeah. The vaccine basically cleans up the neighborhood by keeping your immune system regulated so your brain doesn't have to deal with all that inflammatory chaos.
This is all really compelling, but
Okay,
we have to pump the brakes for just a second. We're guides to the data here. We are not medical professionals, and this is information, not medical advice. These are observational studies. Correlation is not causation.
That is the crucial distinction. You're right. We can see this very strong link, but we can't definitively prove cause and effect yet.
What?
But the sheer consistency of it across millions and millions of people in different countries with different vaccines all pointing in the same direction, that signal is getting really, really hard to dismiss.
It just suggests that by skipping these routine things, we might be leaving this huge long-term health benefit on the table. It stops being about just avoiding the flu this winter.
And starts being about the next 20 years of your life. It changes the whole calculus.
So here is your mission for today. It's time to get out your phone and check the status of your vaccines. Are you current?